Hey, hey, hey! Oh, wicked! Right, hello. How's everything going? Oh, how's everyone's day today? Right. Yes. Okay. So as you can probably see from the title, we're not going to actually add anything particularly super major to the game today, but we are going to have a look at various different things in the game, and we're going to try and make things just run a little bit smoother. So what are we? What? Let's have a look. Right. So I'll have a little talk about what the things that I've done, sort of in the off stream time, and then I'll kind of keep everyone updated. So last episode we added the concept of getting cards to sort of angle, so it fans out. It makes it slightly feel like you're actually like holding, cards in your hand. Quite heavily inspired from Slay the Spire and Hearthstone. I like the idea that the cards are fanning out. So, what have I actually added? So number one, right? There's one thing which I've done, like I did off stream, is when you actually select a card. Like, let's just say I'm going to pick this one. The actual cards either side push away, so you can still see, so you can sort of cycle through all the cards, but then when you go off it clicks back. Now I like that, and but one thing which I'm going to try and do today is make it so it doesn't just click apart, but it actually gradually just moves apart. It just makes it feel a bit smoother. So pick that, and then it sort of moves aside. But first of all, before we do any of that, I'll explain the code that I've done to be able to enable that. It's not anything particularly. It's not any like sort of fancy-ish code. It's quite simple. It's basic. Yeah. So anyway, I'll show you what we're looking at. So we've got the. Got to remember where it is now. I think it's card scripts, hand script. That's the one. Now let's just close all but this. Right. So, oh, here we go. I've actually got it open here already. So I've got a function here that I've just called click cards apart. Now, the reason I've said click is because it just instantly snaps apart, right? It's not smooth at all. But what are we actually doing here? So, when we're actually creating the function, we're putting the card script in, right? And we're checking to see if the card is in hand. And what this function here does... it returns the boolean, which is card in hand. And this boolean here is switched on and off dependent on whether the card is in your hand. So as soon as you play it, there's something that sets this to false. So what this is doing, it's essentially meaning that if somehow you're creating this function when your card is not in your hand, it won't make the cards go all weird or anything. Right. So what I love when making coding is when you actually just come up with, you're thinking, what makes sense, right? So I've decided the way this works is we're creating a temporary boolean called threshold crossed. Okay, so actually, when with our cards in hand, they're numbered. Obviously, like with any array or list, it's going to be numbered 0, 1, 2, 3 up to however many there are, like -1. So if you have 5 cards in hand, they'll be numbered 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I couldn't count up to 4 there. That's worrying. Anyway, so but even though it might be slightly counterintuitive, the first one, the number 0, is actually the one on the farthest right of the screen. So I'll explain what I mean by that. So yes, okay. So what we've got here Right, so cards in hand, number 0 is this one here, which is the farthest right. So if, let's just say, we want to pick, say, the second card from the right, which is this one, I've essentially said, actually, the code explains it better. So, first of all, I've got a boolean. If the threshold has crossed, then if the threshold has not been crossed, then we do this bit of code, which is we check if that the card in hand, like card in hand I, is if it's not equal to the card script, then we're just going to move the card to the right, which is where we've got here. We've got the X. We're making a temporary vector, which is equal to the return vec, which is basically the return vec is where the card will return to in the hand, and then we're just adding 1. We're just adding this 1 to it, okay, and then we're just setting it. Okay, now here's where it gets a bit clever. So if when we're checking, as we're cycling through the count, we then find so we find, say, the card that it is, then instead of moving to the right, all it's going to do is make this boolean threshold crossed equal to true, which will mean that next time it goes through, the cards beyond that are going to go x minus. So it's exactly the same code, except for they're going to go left, which is minus x. And, you know, it isn't actually, and then it's as simple as that. And I then have a click cards back, which is basically just moving them all to the return vec. One thing which I did find quite funny, right? Now, in true style, when I made this, I was like, oh, I just need one for like returning the cards back. Okay, well, we'll copy this, and then right, and basically I copied this whole function, right, put it through, right, and then like, okay, click back cards, right, okay, what do we need from this? And then it turns out this is it, this is all we need to do. But the way that I reached this conclusion was literally copying and pasting all of this, working out all the things that we need, and then just slowly deleting them off one by one. So that's a little lesson. Not always copying and pasting doesn't always work. I'm kind of gutted because that would have been quite funny to see on the stream, where like where you're like, right, okay, well, this pretty much does what we need, but what about when we're moving all the cards back? Right, okay, copy all this. Right, well, we don't need threshold, we don't need this anyway. So this is it. This is all. We just move them back to return deck. It's quite easy. And obviously, and so the times that we're actually calling this function, so we're going to find all references, and I did do a little bit of testing here. So if the card's in hand, we're clicking, as soon as so this is the card script, sorry, yeah. So as soon as we hover over the card, I've actually got a little debug message saying on, but yeah, that's something that I'm looking to work out. That will be useful for something later. I think it was more just helpful to getting it apart. So it click apart, and then as soon as you exit, and we're working on the assumption the card is still in hand and it's not being played, we just click the cards back. Right, okay, so that's good. And one thing that I'm looking to do today is, instead of clicking the cards, I'm going to dabble with the idea of making it just smoother. So what I mean by that is so instead of the cards just clicking apart, I want it to be, as soon as you hover, the other cards gently, like in say half a second, just sort of smoothly move apart. Now, the reason that's quite difficult is because my love for coroutines might actually be my own downfall. Because what I want to do is, as soon as you do that, a coroutine starts that moves them apart. But what you've got to do, you've got to think of what happens if you select this and then select another one afterwards. Then multiple coroutines are all going to be going at once, all trying to tell the cards to move into different positions, and it's going to start getting a little bit confusing. So I have an idea that might involve a coroutine. Like, I don't actually like. It's one of those things that is. It's going to be a little bit. It is going to be a tricky one, but I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to like giving it a try. I think I'm going to have a sort of but we'll get to that. So another thing that I did today. I mean, not today. Yesterday, off stream, is now. Where have we got it? I think is it still actually in the hand script? It is. Yeah. That's my stream beats. Okay, what else did I do? So let me just close all this. Oh yeah, a hand script. Here we go. So now, one thing that one of the someone said not yesterday, on Thursday, was with the cards, we want, when they're sort of fanning out, if you think the one that's like in the middle should be moved up a bit and they should be moving down. Now, there's a little function that's setting off the Y offset. Now, what I did, because I came up with a ridiculously complicated plan, and I couldn't execute it properly. I was like, fine, I'm just going to do a big switch statement that just gives you all the values, and then so I'm sorry, I'll explain what I mean by this. So this is the amount that the card is going to move up when you actually draw them. So if you have, say, 3 cards, the middle of the 3 cards, you want it to move up just a little bit, so it's kind of like, makes it slightly feel more authentic, as though you're holding a deck of cards. And this is this is the best that I could come up with. So what we've got here is I worked out that the middle one, we want to go up an extra 0.5 on the Y axis. And what I was going to do, we can actually have a look. This is what my intended outcome was going to be. So 0.5 if you have one card, it goes up 0.5. If you have 2 cards, they both go up 0.45. 3 cards, yeah. So you can kind of see the maths involved. And the thing which I was struggling with last time was the concept of having something that goes up and then down. And I came up with the answer. There's a little function that's called math.abs. Now, ABS means you get what's called the absolute number. The absolute number is a mathematical term where, regardless of whether it's a minus number or a positive number, if you're making the absolute number, it becomes a positive number. So we had and so, for example, this is where it gets a bit interesting. If you have, say, 3 minus 5, that's minus 2, and 5 minus 3 is 2, right? But if you have the absolute number of 3 minus 5, regardless, it's always going to be 2. So it's, in many respects, it finds the difference between 2 numbers. So what we've got here is a mid-float, which is our central point in the array. And it's basically, we're finding the difference between its array number and where this mid-float is, and then dividing it by 10. This is a little bit complicated. Now, I dabbled with this. We don't actually need this. This is just to, at the what I've got here is OS timesing itself. So it's basically squaring itself. This was hoping to give the effect that it's not like, I'll see if we can actually tell the difference between this being on and not being on. So I'm going to switch it off for the time being. This is quite quite heavy going. quite heavy going for right at the beginning of the stream. So it's going to be quite hard to tell. But if we select... So we're looking now, just checking my camera isn't blocking, because I realise my camera is going to, my head is going to be blocking various different important parts of coding, and I need to just remember that. Because I think I was, last time, I was trying to do something here, and my camera was up here as well. Anyway, so we've got, if we're looking at the Y value over here. So minus 1.2, minus 1. So that looks okay. Now, so that actually, to be honest, that looks fine. I might just stick with that, but I'm just going to have another look with making it a square and see if it really makes much of a difference. Kind of looks the same. Kind of looks the same. I think visually it doesn't actually make too much difference. But yeah, you can see the values are slightly different. I'm actually going to take it off for the time being. I think if I was going really technical, I could leave that in and spend a bit longer, but I don't think we really need to. I think that's fine. But yeah, anyway, this is basically setting the setting the extra additional Y factor. So anyway, right, okay, I know we're a little bit in already, and I haven't properly explained the main thing that I'm looking to get done today. So one problem that we had last episode was now I'm actually slightly reluctant to try it, but I will get something positive out of it if so. I somehow crashed Unity, which is quite a feat of feat of bravery, a feat of strength, a feat of cunning. It's amazing, because normally it's quite hard to crash Unity. It's normally a matter of you create an error message, and somehow. And it was to do with playing this. It might be something like play this, then this, then this. So I'm going to... okay, so if I do crash, I do apologise. But while it's reloading up, it's just if I do crash, then I'll have a much greater idea as to what I did to be able to crash it. So... Let's see if we actually do create the problem. And the way it works is you have to play 3 cards very quickly, including this metal wall. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. Ah, okay, it didn't crash. Okay, fair enough. That's okay. No, I should be happy about that, because obviously, what made it crash before, I'm still trying to work out exactly why it did that. And like I say, it's a much bigger problem, the fact that it crashed the entire of Unity and it didn't just give me an error message. But you know what? If we'll come across that, I'm going to make sure I save regularly. We're not going to lose too much, and I'm going to probably off stream dabble with again, if every good coder knows, you want to try and create problems so that you can then fix it. The big problem is when you have a problem and you don't know how to actually recreate the problem so you can't get to it. So I have done that. That's great. Right, so we've got we want to make everything smoother. So at the moment, and we actually kind of emphasise the point here, when you play a card and then you play another one, it just feels a little bit sort of, I don't know, there's something sort of annoying about how the card sort of clicks down. We want it to just run a little bit smoother. Also, you can press end turn as many times as you like. It is, yeah. So yeah, like, because the problem which I have is, I mean, so if you press end turn and then press end turn again, I believe it's just going to stack up everything. It's a problem. We want to make sure that you can only click end turn. Oh yeah, also I've dealt with like you having up to 10 cards. But yeah, I want to make sure that you can only click end turn. Once you've clicked end turn, everything is going to you won't be able to click it until until the whole turn is resolved. That's discarding the cards, moving the enemy forward or getting the enemy to attack, resolving the battle, then drawing more cards. Whereas you can just click this as many times as you like, and it's probably going to give us some serious problems here. Yeah, so oh yeah, right. But anyway, right, so let's have a little fun with the end turn. That's what we're going to work on first. I should have actually made that buttons end turn script. Right. Okay. So what is calling this? Activate. So we've got a button script which is activating. So end turn button. So what we kind of want to do is right, this is where it gets, this is going to be quite fun. So what I did let's see if I can do this. So we're going to have a core script here, and this will be another create. We're simply going to call this busy script. And the purpose of this script is it's not going to use a coroutine. During its update function, it's going to be constantly checking if something is happening. So if, say, you've got a card that is about to be resolved or is resolving, or you're drawing a card or something's happening, we want to make sure this busy script knows that that something that we're busy somehow. So the way which we do this, so what are all the things that we need to actually pay attention to? So, right. Oh, I haven't actually opened it up yet. So, busy script. Okay, so what we're going to do first off, straight off the bat, we're going to make it a... so this is going to be a singleton because... a lot of things are going to need access. Hey, how you doing, man? You alright? Ah, oh, wicked. Right, public static busy script. So yeah, I created a in my last game that I made, I did have a busy script, and we first of all, let's just make it a singleton. Okay. You know what? Let's go. So I don't feel quite as much shame in doing this. It's just going to be one cheeky little line of code. That's all you need to do. That's made it a singleton. Done. Right, and we keep it all in one, so it doesn't make it feel as though I'm putting too many singletons. So, what do we do with the busy script? We have a public bool, and I'm going to call this busy in capital letters. Okay, and we want to have access to various different things that can be busy or not. So it will be the hand script, and that can be private. We want access to the deck script. And like I say, this is just a little bit of code that I just kind of decided sort of made quite a bit of sense. We've got the hand, the deck, and the discard pile script. We're going to probably need more than this as well. So, and what we need to do, yeah, so we need to get access to all of this. So, let me just try and work out the best way of doing this. I might actually do it all in here. Okay, so forget all of that keeping everything clean thing. We actually do, we want to have it all in here. So, yeah, so we're going to have void. Sorry, yeah, because I don't really, for some reason I don't like using the update function. You know what? I'm changing my mind midstream here. We're going to have a public void begin busy script. And we're going to have a coroutine. But it's essentially, it can be done in an update function. The only problem is all of the things like the hand script, the deck script, all of these things, or some of these things, we can't get hold of. And so if we suddenly just attach this to something, we need all of these to get it to work. So we need a way of getting whole access to all of these scripts before we actually begin. So, and at the moment I've just got these four. So we need to hand script. Yeah, so we're going to have a setup where we just get access to all of these, all of these scripts, and we're checking. What we're going to do, we're going to have a routine where we're checking if any of them are busy. Because if any of them are busy, then the busy script will be busy. It's like checking for loads of busy things at once, and it'll be a nice reference point so that we won't be able to click end turn while some things are busy. Right. And it's one of those things that will be useful throughout while we're doing more stuff. So, and yeah. Okay. I'm going to have another boolean just so we can turn this busy script on and off if we want to, even though it should really remain on the whole time. I'm going to have it called busying. So let's go make a routine. Busying equals true. And we're going to start here. While busying So here's where the interesting code comes about. So I'll quickly just sort of sum up what I've done. I've created a script that we're going to call busy script, which everything can get hold of, and it will tell us whether something is busy. So I'm just going to simply put busy equals underscore handscript.busy, or, which is the 2 lines there, or DexScript is busy, or right, so this is actually I think all we need. And what I want to test this out. So we need to actually fit this in somewhere. So I think the busy script is going to be attached to our main master thing here. And it's this is a big deal. No, hold on, remove that. Yeah, I want to actually go into the actual master thing here and change it here. Right, so that's better. Okay. So how are we going to access this? And we want to check to see if it works. So it'll be in this script here. So this is our main master, the thing that actually sets. Yeah, like I say, I've called it main game master. I really should be calling this game starter, or something which means, because this isn't really the master, it's just the thing that creates everything. I suppose you could argue that is a master. No, but I mean, I always think of a master as some big sort of bit of code that, like, everything has to, or a lot of things go by this, whereas this purely is here to, so this should be like game creator scripts or something. But we'll change it. It turns out trying to change the name here is a bit of a pain as well, but that's all right. We'll stick with that. Okay, so I think as soon as we've summoned everything, we could even add the main game master to it as well, which I think makes sense. Right, so let's go. Technically, I was going to actually add it as a... No, we will. So... Oh no, we don't need to. Everything's fine. Sorry. So, we are about here. We're going to set up the busy script. So, busy script.instance.setup. Right, and we've got to put all the important stuff in it. So, we've probably got access to all this stuff. Just right here, handscript, DexScript. Let's go. Discard pile script, and button. Okay, we don't actually have the end turn master here, but we can always get it. Just thought we would have it. I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we've only got access to the actual button itself. So what I'm going to do, no, it's fine. We'll just get hold of it. That's fine. So, okay, because the end turn master script is still attached to this same object, so we can just get a component. That's fine. So, and we now need to start it up as well. So, Oh, I really shouldn't have called it begin busy script. Let's go rename that to begin being busy. That's fine. Let's rename it. Begin being busy. That's fine. Right, now hopefully that's all the code that we need. So we're going to give it a test. So what all this will do is when we're doing something, the busy script will ideally be busy. So right, let's go back here. Looking at the master, we got hold of this. So it won't actually start until we've actually got everything. So I'm going to have a look. So, oh, apparently we're busy already. So let's find out which one it is that's busy. So it'll be the, let's have a look at the hand script. The hand script isn't. The deck, the discard pile isn't. Deck script isn't. So what is it that's being busy? Must be the end turn, which is not there. Let me have a quick look. Because, yeah, this will be... so it's currently busying. So it's currently in this cycle here. And it's checking for the busy script. So deck, discard. Let me... So I'm just going to see if I haven't actually created a sort of negative. So if I were to... Okay. All right. Oh, hold on. Need busy for end turn master script. Let's have a look. Sorry. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, brilliant. Yes. Oh, let's go. Oh, I'll tell you what, you got my back, man. I appreciate that. That is awesome. Yeah. Oh, sweet. I would say, I'm not just saying this, I think that would have taken me about 20 minutes to look for. I think, yeah, oh, absolutely awesome. Right, okay. Right, now, so we're one step closer, so even if it's still not working, yeah, cheers, man. See, I like the fact that you're actually on the same wavelength as well, like, you can see... Right. Oh, that's brilliant, though. Yeah, cheers. Right, so we're busying. We're checking to see if we're busy, which is busying, but we're not busy. So if I... yeah, and also what I want to do as well, I want to make sure when you're dragging a card, that counts as the hand script being busy. So let's have a look. Ah, so one thing that's interesting as well, and I should have done this, and we can easily do it, it's no problem. We want to add the card action script to the busy, to the busyness as well. So as soon as, yeah, so like at the moment when a card is enacting, so we've got a few things that we want to get this busy thing to work with. So yeah, the card action script, and we want to make sure that when you were dragging a card, then that counts as it being busy. Right. Oh man, yeah, thanks so much for that. That's awesome. Yeah, really well spotted. Like, I know that because I seem to remember there was a little while ago when I was trying to I think I was checking another one of these things, and I just like, because it annoys me that you can do that and it doesn't give you an error message. You know, like, it's like, that's, you know, I think I'm relying too much on Unity telling me what the problem is. But when you're checking in an if statement, all you're doing is you're checking if this is equal to null or not. So it isn't equal to null, so it returns as true. Right, anyway, what was I going to do? So we want to add another one, don't we? So we're going to add the combat script. And we also want to add the... So this is going to be a sort of hub with loads of useful... with all the scripts to work out if we're busy. So let's go add these, get them sorted, and then we'll make sure the hand script is busy when you're dragging cards. So let's find out which ones we actually have. Yep, and no. This is a bit of an ugly line of code. I won't try and hide that. But this is how I did it last time. I just had one busy script that's just kind of keeping track of everything. I think what I actually did was with the busy script is right at the beginning. It would essentially set itself up, but I think this is fine. Combat. Okay, so we've got access to these scripts now. We just got to fit it into. Yeah, and one thing, this is also useful, like it kind of vaguely explains why almost every one of my scripts has got a public bool that's called busy. Apart from, well, I suppose busy script has a one with, where it's spelled in all capitals, but like it just makes a lot of this useful. So we've done that part. Now we want to have a look at the hand script. So, we actually need to look at the card script. So, drag card routine. I think whenever we're dragging a card, we should set... Yeah, this might be... Because we've got access to the hand script, right? Let me have a look. Maybe we don't. Oh, we do. I don't want to just flat change. I want to actually just do a function which changes the busy parameter. I know it's public, but I still want to have a separate... might not make an awful lot of sense. Set busy. Okay, so I've got, I'll put it underneath. So I've got another function here. Like I said, I don't actually need this. It's just I think it will be a bit cleaner. Because yeah, it's. I know it's really bad practice to just change a variable from a different script. Accessing it's fine, but actually changing it is it's something that you really probably shouldn't do. So I'm actually going to change it within the script. So yeah, I could. Let's just see how this goes. Set busy to false. Okay. Right. Nice. Okay. So let's have a look. Busy script. So, right, it's currently busying, but it is not busy. So we drag busy, 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 busy. Not going to play it there. It's going back and it's not busy. Yeah, okay, and it stops being busy as soon as it returns in place where the card is. So now let's see how. Let's just check that this busy remains on for the whole duration of the card playing. That's you play the card, it spins around, moves down, and creates the units. Hopefully, this is going to be busy the whole time. Still busy, still okay, there was an instant, there was a little bit where it wasn't busy. Okay. Let me just have a little, just try and work out the exact point that wasn't busy. It's when the card is moving back down. Wonder why. Because I have a feeling... Oh, I see. Oh, yes. Okay, so what we're doing, we're actually... It's remaining busy here while it's removing the card. So there's different ways we can actually fix this. I'm trying to work out what would make... Because essentially what I can do to fix all the problems, I can just... I can simply, right here, set it to true again. So what's actually... So go to definition. What's actually happening during the remove card thing? Oh, the removing card is putting all the cards back into place. Okay, that's fair enough. So this should fix this. There is a good argument. It's like, why am I putting so much emphasis on making sure the hand script is busy? It's because I don't want you to be able to click the end turn button if something else is going on, or I want to make sure you can click the end turn button if something else is going on, but everything resolves before the end turn is happening. So let's have a look now. Oh, yeah. No. Let me have a look. So... okay, it's remaining busy throughout. Okay, now how does it work if we're playing two cards at once? Is that going to give us any problems? So, right, again, I've got this ongoing... there we go. Right. So we actually got a good situation to, if I can create this crash, this might do it. I know that sounds like a negative thing, but it will be good if I can, so I can know exactly the things. So no, okay, all right. Oh yeah, right. So we want to make sure that you can only click end turn when there is nothing going on. Right. I don't know what I've changed there, but I'm going to save that there. Right, so it'd be to do with these two scripts here. And I quite like the idea of you can still press the end turn button when you've got a bunch of stuff happening with the cards, but it will just queue it up as far as moves. But as much as I like that, I'm not going to do that quite yet. So this debug has been there for a while. So we're just going to say if busy dot busy script, busy dot instance dot busy. There we go. Now, anyone who's using C#, you'll know that if you're doing an if statement and you just have one line after it, you don't need to have curly brackets. However, I just love curly brackets. What can I say? I just love curly brackets. So I don't need these curly brackets here. But if ever I wanted to put more code on here, then it'd be a lot easier. So I use curly brackets. I just like having curly brackets. It makes it a lot clearer. So that's good. So now we're going to just do. We're going to try and do a few things, then spam the end turn button and check that it doesn't do anything. Because one thing which I also quite like about this is the button will still go down, but it won't do anything. It will just sort of click down. So it's going to react to a certain amount. Right. And yeah. So there's a couple of things I'm looking to check now. Let's go back to the small time. Okay, so we're going to. So I'm still going to keep an eye on this because I want to know that when we end turn, if it's going to remain solidly busy until we can actually play, or if there's going to be any gaps. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, curly brackets are good. Yeah, I think it can save time. I think there were a few scripts in my last one where I had an awful lot of for loops. I think I had something like 4 for loops in total. So that's like as in a for loop, and then within that for loop is another one. So you're getting a kind of 4-dimensional array or 5-dimensional. I don't know. And because I had something very specific to do, it made sense not to have curly brackets. But apart from very, very occasional times, I'm going to use curly brackets the whole time. Right, so what we want to do first of all is we want to play this, and then, nothing's happening, you can't end turn because it won't, which is brilliant. Okay, that's the first thing sorted. Now we're just going to end turn legitimately and have a look at this busy thing and just check, see if it just remains busy the whole time. That looked pretty good actually, so that was busy up until we can actually play cards again. Okay, I like that. Okay, now one thing which I kind of want to do, actually I like this. I've got an idea for a bit of code that I'm just going to fit in. This is going to be temporary. So this determines the busyness, right? F, D. I think we're up to about F-ish. No, it's not get key down. It's get key. Actually, no. No, change my mind again. So, what I've done here is I've got it so that if you press F when it's not busy, it's going to say the word hey. Now, the reason this is going to be useful is when we're... it's when there's a whole long routine of things that are happening where it might just be like busy, it might not be busy for a frame. Yeah, sorry, I'm sort of writing out and I'll explain it in a sec. Okay, so we've got F and G. So, yeah, what this is doing... yeah, so like the reason being is we want to check if there's any times where just for one frame it changes its busy status, and this is like a diagnosis button. So when we end turn, so I'm holding F down now. Yeah, okay. So let's just have a look. Sorry, it's just scrolling. Yeah, this is going to just be a really useful tool. Yeah, okay. So I think we've actually got... So anyway, right. So it feels like it's number one on the list of things that we wanted to get done today is... we wanted to make sure that you can't end turn. It's like... doesn't... Oh yeah, okay, I can end turn there, but that's because it had resolved everything. But if we're mid doing that, no, yeah, okay, right. Number two. Now this is something which I'm looking forward to. In fact, I've got my coffee, my chilled coffee at the ready, because this is something that I'm looking forward to. Actually, like it's a bit of coding that's slightly out of my comfort zone, and there might be a chance that like say. 2 hours, I'm going to have that sort of look with the sort of the bags under my eyes, that sort of like because I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do this code, but I'm really looking forward to trying it. So what our plan is, so as I say, this is an episode about making everything smooth. So first off, you can't end turn when you can't end the turn when it's doing all that. That's good. So you can't stack up end turns, you can't click it multiple times, and loads of things will happen. Right. Now, the next thing is going to be, when you select a card, obviously it clicks over, but how cool would it be if we can have some sort of routine or some sort of code so that it smoothly moves itself over? Now, I could use the concept of lerping, but I'm never too keen on lerping because so lerping is the concept of let's just say you have the number 5 and you want it to make it become 10 and it's a float. lerping will kind of like essentially like get closer to the number 10. Like you do a lerp, it will get closer to the number 10, but it will be growing by a smaller chunk each time until it's pretty much 9.9999. It's like using a percentage of the distance anyway, which is fine, which we can do, but I want to come up with a more creative way of doing this. I mean, I say more creative. I just don't. I want to avoid lerping whenever I can. I don't really know why. I just like, because I remember having sort of problems with it because it never gets to the exact number that you want. You just have to keep checking to see if is it near enough. Fine, that'll do. So, how can we do all this without lerping? I don't know. Right. Okay. So, oh yes. Okay. So we've got click cards apart, click cards back. So this is going to be, we're going to use this as a reference. Right, okay, just getting my coffee ready. Because yeah, like I say, this is going to require quite a bit of thought. Right, private I enumerator. We're going to call it, I'm going to use the word, I don't know exactly if it's modulation routine. Okay, so over here we're going to have public bool modulating I love it because I still don't know, you know, I'm hoping my hands are going to know where I'm going with this. Start modulating. Okay, so if not modulating, start coroutine. Okay. We also want a, we'll keep it public. Yeah. So we know it's to do with this, and we're going to use this code here as a sort of reference. I really shouldn't have used a long word like mod. I'm going to be writing modulate so many times. Right, here we go. Card to be modulating around. Okay. So the reason I'm keeping this as a potential null. So anyway, right. So modulating equals true. Yeah, this is going to be quite a tricky one. I won't lie. So we have modulating. I also want a float. I'm just going to call it mod float. Okay. So. Okay. So, while modulating I really do hope this does work, because I have a feeling that I could be here for a while and it won't yield any results at all. It's one of those where kind of like I can see it in my head. So while modulating, okay, so what we're going to do is, like, the key bit that we're actually looking at is where it says start modulating. I'm going to actually have, so if it's already modulating, great. Else card to modulate around equals equals modulation card. Okay, so if modulation card is not equal to null, actually no, yeah, it's not equal to null, do something else, do something else. So so this will be a sort of slow reenactment. Right. So at the moment, cool. Oh, I haven't done a semicolon. I know at the moment I'm kind of dancing around the subject. I'm getting all the little parameters in place, but at the moment this isn't going to do anything. However, and I'm going to change this to just modulate. Yeah. So. like I say, this might it might go, but I'm actually just quite enjoying. Like this will be quite a bit of trial and error, but that's kind of why I love coding, really, because you you can kind of come up with a bizarre idea and see if you can get it to work. So, right, we're going to go to the card script. Close all this. So, temporarily, we're going to get rid of this. Oh, no. Okay, right, so what's the purpose of all this? So, at the moment, what we're going to do, let me just go back onto the hand script here. So, we're back at the hand script. So, at this precise moment, what I want to happen is when we're hovering over a card, the number is going to slowly go up to number 1, and when we're moving the mouse off it, it's going to gently go back down to 0. This is actually a good basis for starting. Oh, I think this is going to work. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. I mean, this isn't it yet. There's still a bit more coding. But let's. Sorry, I'm just getting excited because I actually think I think this might actually work. Like, I've just come up with an idea as to actually. I know it's to do with this, right? So where have we got the hand script? Oh, the hand script is actually off here, isn't it? So hand go. Right. So we've got the modulation float. So ideally, when we go over a card, it's going to gently go up to 1. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be modulating. Sorry, not busy. It's going to be modulating up until that gets to 1, and then stop modulating. Let's see if that works. Okay. And then as we go off, it's going to go back to modulating. Perfect. Okay. Right. Oh, I'm excited now. I think this is actually this could work. I think the only slight problem that we are going to run across is when you're actually going from, say, this card to the next card. You know what? It might not look super smooth, but let's find out. Let's just see how it goes. Yeah. Like, yeah, this is why, I mean, again, it's like kind of when you're doing sort of testing and stuff. So we've got the modulation float, the mod float. Okay. Right. So we're going to use a bit of this code. Ah, yes. Okay, sorry, I'm so excited. This is brilliant. Okay, so we're going to have a click cards apart. We're going to use something very similar to... we're actually going to have... the modulation part is going to be both of these scripts incorporated together. So we're going to just have it at the bottom here. We're going to have... we'll call this modulate cards apart. So this is going to be an instant modulate cards apart. We actually don't really need this because we can rely on our cards to modulate around. So how many times are we using it? No, that's fine. Yeah, don't worry about that. That is going to be error message. That's good. Okay. So, yeah. Let me have a look. Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a lot easier than I thought. I love it. Sorry, I'm just getting so excited. This is, like, really clever. Right, we've got... yes. Oh, brilliant. Okay. Right, okay. I think it is as simple as that, isn't it? This is working on the assumption that there is a card to modulate. Why did I call it modulate? I'm going to be using that... Ah, gosh. Anyway, right. So, this is, like... This is pretty cool. So, that's good. So, in theory, let's actually modulate cards around. So, so what we've got the modulate apart cards. So at the moment, I think it's good to actually do a step by step of what's going on. So here we have modulate apart cards. And in fact, we might just put it in here because we might want to do a different function. So let's have a look. So at the moment, this is only going to go one way. So we're just going to highlight one card, and it's going to slowly, gently fan apart. We can obviously make it a lot faster, but I want to just check this works. Okay, so I'm going to pick, say, this one. Oh, yes. Okay. All right. It doesn't do anything. When we actually go back, nothing's going to happen. But that's a good start. I want it to move faster than that, but that's easily. That's just part of the... I wonder what happens if we did that. Okay. So, yes. So it still has that problem there. Okay. We just want to make sure that when you move off, it then goes back down. So this is where, like, yeah, actually returning it to the, getting it to the return vec is a little bit more complicated. I'm trying to think of it, like, there's different ways I can do it. I'm just trying to think of the most sort of simplified version. We might just have a separate function here. In fact, let's go copy this. This really big deep it. this deep amount of code that we've got here. Modulate back cards. Modulate back cards. So this is just clicking it back. Because, yeah, the problem is we need to know where the vector was before. Yeah, I'm going to be staring at this just for a little while. So okay, so I know a slightly complex-ish way of doing it, and I think I'm okay with it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and I think what I'm going to do the complicated method, put it all together, check that it works, and then try and come up with a way of simplifying it. Yeah, okay, I think I'm okay with that. So, public, yeah, this is definitely the complicated version of it. We have got held card vex. Okay. Because what's basically the moment that we move the card off, sorry, yeah, I'll try and explain what I'm doing, and I'll explain where the problem lies. Because what's going to happen? This is why I've got to have a really fancy, because obviously as a programmer you've got to work out every problem. So. If I say select this card here, everything is fanning out, right? Which is great. That's what I want to happen. Fantastic. But what if I moved over and halfway through, like as it was moving out, you then move the mouse off of it. I want it to smoothly move back, and that's the difficult part. So what we actually need to do is the moment that we move off of it, we need to record the value of all of the position of all the cards as soon as you move off of it, and then we're going to modulate them back to the returning vec. I'm trying to work out if we actually do need to do that. Yeah. Oh, I love it though. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think we do. Yeah, because the modulate and float, let's just say it was 0.5. Right. Getting them to fan out was the easy part. Now we've got the proper tricky bit. What if you're selecting hard and then you're unselecting it mid while it's fanning out? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the held card Vex. Yeah, because I genuinely, I think I'm on the cusp of working it out. Yeah. Oh yes. So. Okay, I think we're getting there now. Right. Yeah, this just required quite a bit of brain activity here. We should change this to local held card Vex. Void I less than it might not even necessarily need to be an array. I mean, it might. We could get away with probably using a list. No. We don't need any of this. Yeah, I do apologise. I know there's been a little bit of dead air while I've been trying to work this out, but yeah, this is like I say, it might be a much easier method of doing this, but I think this method I feel is more, it's more personal. I like the I could be like, how did you work it out? I just had to, yeah. I don't know. This way's right. So anyway, we're getting hold of all the local Vex. So. So here's where it gets interesting. Okay, I think I'm on the right wavelength. I think, yes. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere now. Okay. So, modulate back cards. I mean, the payoff will be huge. It'll be brilliant. It's gonna look really good. You'll be like, "Whoa, is this actually? You know, how's he done this?" Right? Oh, I will be so happy if this works. So we're getting hold of all these card local vecs. So. Okay, now first of all, I want to see if this is working because there's quite a lot of things that can go wrong. But this will be, I mean, if this does work, I'm gonna be pretty happy. If it works, then I'll explain everything. I just, you know, when you're just thinking like, I doubt it'll work first time. We're gonna have a problem of some sort, but I want to just quickly sum up what's happening. So we highlight a card, we move the mouse over. The card gets bigger, and the cards either side of it sort of swerve away from it, right? We then, and this is the modulator part thing. So this code here is where they just move apart, and at the moment it's taking 1 second to do that, but we can easily change that. Now, when we are modulating the cards back, all right, that's when, to modulate them back, we're putting null as the argument. And I don't think it matters, but I'd rather have this on top. So if it's null, we're going to get hold of the current local vector, local position of each card, and we're actually minusing the return vec because this will then give us the offset. This is basically the vector that we're getting is going to tell us how far apart it is from its original return vec, and we're setting this modulation float to 1. So as soon as we go off, and there's going to be no modulation card. So if it's not equal to null, if it is equal to null, it's then going to start minusing from 1, and it's going to. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I knew I'd missed something. That's good, actually. I'm glad. Yeah, this is why I need to go over that. So that times by mod float. Okay. Right. Let's see if this works. Right. Moment of truth. Come on. Come on. Oh. Right. Okay. We probably shouldn't have it on max screen. Okay, right. So let's first work out. All right. Okay, it's done this bit. Now there is so much that can go wrong. Let's go have a look. Oh. Okay, let's. Right. So I somehow seem to have made it unselectable, but that's, you know what, that is pretty good. I've got to work out why. Oh, yes. Okay. As it's returning. Yeah. Okay. That's not bad though, is it? That's pretty good. So we kind of want to make it a bit faster. So at the moment it's taking 1 second. Now, so yeah, it's still a little bit of a problem as we're sort of cycling through. But that I'm going to come to. First of all, I want to make, yeah, so this is, yeah, I'm trying to work out why that is, but that's okay. Right, you know what, that worked pretty well. That's actually worked better than I thought. So one thing that we can do quite easily is when we're modulating, when we're adding this float, we can literally just go, say, times by 4, make it 4 times as fast. So we can just give that a test. Right, so we've got them all over there. And the more I look at it, yeah, so that's pretty good. Yeah, the difficult part is dealing with when you go to the next card. But that's pretty good though. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, yeah. So when you go to the next card, let me just experiment with something. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of an experimentation. So, no, not there. No, that won't work, will it? Yeah, again, this is a little bit of experimentation. I think I'm going to card to modulate around. Because I feel that the code that we've done to get it to return deck, we can actually use that similarly to moving the cards, to moving like from one card being selected to the next card being selected. Okay, yeah. Okay, but this is pretty good. So what I'll do, I mean, like, because I think we've actually created the, yeah, we've still done actually, yeah, we've got a kind of basic idea of how we want it to work. So that is good. Right, what else can we do to make it smoother? Right, let's go. So at the moment, I reckon. Right, so this is as good as I'm happy with this so far. I think what I'll do off stream is I'm going to, like, because I've got the basic core mechanics to get this to work, but off stream I'm going to just do a little bit of tweaking to get that to just work slightly nicer. But what we're going to do for the rest of the day, everything is about it being smooth and awesome. So let's get rid of this 10. This 10 is going to annoy me because it's just defaulted to 10 because that's fine. So let's go get rid of that. So quick easy wins. Let's go for a couple of easy ones. This is fine. Edit script. So as soon as we create that, we want to find the bit of code that changes the text. Set cards discarded text. Okay. Right, cool. Oh. Right. Right. Yeah, okay, right, brilliant. Right, win! Okay, what are we going to do next? I think I like all of this here. What I kind of want to do is when we end turn, it sort of jumps a little bit. I want this whole thing to just be a little bit smaller. So it's not taking up quite as much space. Let me have a look. Where is the actual... So we'll have a sort of play around with the sort of sizes that we want. Actually, do we need it smaller? I think it's more just I don't like the way that it bounces up and goes off screen. Nah, maybe it's fine as it is. Right. Cool. Okay. So, oh yes, fantastic. Right. That is, yeah, like so. I'm just having a look. Is that like that's not too aggressive on the screen, is it? Because this is quite relevant information. And I believe. Because what I want to have a little bit is a card. Right, so I'll give you a bit of an insight as to my plans. I'm still going to, before I actually sort of cognitively put a game together, I'm going to have to create more than just 4 cards. But one of the cards which I'm going to do is going to be kind of like a big boulder, which is going to cost something like 3 or 4 mana coins. And it is going to summon a boulder which does a bit of damage and knocks the enemy back 1. So if he's at the front, it knocks him back into the map. So with this sort of mini-map top bit at the top here, when if I end turn, it disappears, but it's still very much relevant on the... it still is accessible. It's still here. All the information is there. So when we do use that boulder thing that knocks them back, all of this will come to light again because it will go back to the minimap screen, and it will essentially buy you 1 turn. Obviously, and you know, this is just more as a sort of future insight as well. We're going to create a we're going to create a mechanic which, I mean, I think Slay the Spire calls it exhaust, so that's where when you play this card you can only play it once. Oh yes, oh brilliant question, awesome question. So again, I don't want to just copy Slay the Spire, but I think there's going to be like a preset deck, because it's going to be like a roguelike, in that you'll probably have a few generic cards that are always going to be in. But like once I've got the idea that it's like once you've say done a fight or something, there's going to be something like the deck of mysteries, right? Where like there's going to be it's going to place 3 cards down, and they're all going to have like different things, like different symbols that mean different things, and that'll be sort of your progression. So one of them might be add a card to your hand, or another one might be, I haven't really worked it all out yet at the moment. You know when it's like it's in my head, but so Cards of War, yeah. So there's going to be a sort of. I like the idea that you want to kind of adapt on the fly, and like and you've got to see if you can get your town to survive this storm of enemies that are fighting. Yeah, it's like I'm so excited. So what I can actually do. Let's see where we've got it. It's Rumble Town. So, oh yeah, it's over this side. So yeah, what I've done, like I've written. Oh wow, WordPad is giving me it's giving me a rough time of it today. Right. Anyway, I've got just a few ideas for cards. At the moment, they're just on text, and I think we've actually done a couple of them already. But I'm going to put in more cards. Yeah, like I think now that we've done like 4 of the basic cards, adding more won't be too difficult. And I've got quite a good few ideas. They're like, but the thing which I'm trying to work on is I don't want to, like I said, I don't want it to just be like Slay the Spire. I want it to be a sort of unique game. Anyway, for some reason this is giving me grief, but I think I've written about sort of 15 or 16 ideas for cards. And obviously the best part is once you actually put a card together, you can play around and work out if it's too good or not. Right, so now, what I'm going to do now, I need to quickly go to the toilet, or the bathroom I should say, but what I'm going to do when I come back is, at this precise moment, when, well, what have I, oh yes, of course, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, it's struggling with the fact that the cards. But yeah, I'm just going to keep my mouse off there. It's trying to do the modulating thing whilst the cards are moving. What's happening? So when you I think last episode I made sure that when you play a card, it not only moves into the here, but it's actually destroyed the card altogether. So I am going to put together, when you actually get to the end of the deck, I want a sort of a particle effect to sort of push all the cards back in here, because we're no longer storing the cards. So I'm going to kind of come up with some idea to, some sort of quite fun particle effect, and we'll have a little bit of fun trying to put it together, so that you'll be able to see all the cards kind of move back into the deck. Right, okay, that's said. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'm probably going to make myself a quick coffee at the same time, so I'll be back in like about 5. All right, awesome. All right, I'll see you in a sec. Ah, right, awesome, cool. All right, I'm back. You know what? While I was making coffee, an idea just came into my head. Something that will probably make life an awful lot easier. And I feel like while it's fresh in my mind, I'm going to do this now. Right, card script, hand script. So, it occurred to me that this here we can right. We can actually have code similar to this. So yeah, like the way that we swap cards, we're essentially moving cards to the place that they should be. We can use code very, very similar to this. It's more, actually, it's a little bit more complicated than I realised. But this is something which I'm going to do off stream because it will just require quite a bit of trial and error. But this, essentially, it's going to mean, so when we swap from one card, when we're highlighting one card and we're moving over to the other, it should make everything just move a bit smoother. I'm going to put a debug.log just to remind me that we do need to get this to look better. Okay, yeah, because I think we're about 90% of the way there, but this last 10% is going to just be a little bit awkward. Right, anyway, we're going to do fun things. We're going to, so yeah, like, I think, because this code here is very, very similar to what we actually need to do to be able to sort of get the cards to move around. Right. Okay. So, how... right. So, my main goal here is to make a particle effect that looks passable. And... like, unfortunately, like I say, art isn't my strong suit. But we can have a little play around. So we're going to create a 3D object. Oh no, it's effects, particle system. Okay, right. And we're going to call this no, card rush. Yeah. So I'm going to call it, like it's an abbreviation here. So I'm going to call it Card Rush, and instead of just calling it a game object, I'm going to put PE at the beginning to remind me that it's a particle effect. Right, now let's go have a bit of fun. Right. So add to the resources. And I'm going to have a whole separate folder for particle effects. So we've got... let's give myself a little bit more screen to work with. So, I quite like... oh yeah, of course, gosh. Right, so we want it to have a bit of gravity. Let's have a look. We've got... there is actually... how's the... So it's... oh yeah, that was it. So we need to create a new folder called materials. And create a material. Card rush map. Okay. Now I think we can actually have one particles. maybe it's not that. So first of all, how are we actually? Oh yeah, that's it. So I think my computer's struggling ever so slightly with this. And what I kind of want is I want to have this little symbol here. Okay, it's not quite what I was going for. Yeah, but I like the sort of purple blob thing happening. There is an easy way of doing this. Renderer. I think what we actually need to do is where we've got the default particle, we've actually just got a particles standard unlit. Yeah, because all we've got to do is just have a look at what the actual properties are here. So it's particles standard unlit. Okay. Oh, that looks much. I think that might work. Let's see. Sorry, I was about to say that looks much better, but I haven't actually changed anything. Right, close. We ideally don't want the black background. Okay. All right. For the time being, I'm going to work on just using the generic one. We're just going to use the generic material, and then I'll create it. I'll change it in a little bit. So, what I kind of want to do is have a sort of little wispy sort of like. I want it to almost like a sort of like. Yeah, I don't know, sort of like a sort of fairy or something. You know the way that sort of dust sort of sprinkles off. That's I'm kind of going for that. So. How are we going to do that? So first of all, we want to have where's our gravity modifier? If we have 1, okay, making a start here, and we kind of want the particles to look a little bit smaller. So the start size, let's just say 0.1. Let's say 0.5. Yeah, because unfortunately, this is something that requires a little bit more sort of an artistic side. And so whenever I'm trying to do anything artistic, I still try to break it down into logic. So we've created this here, and we kind of want it to. We don't want it to the variance. So it's actually force over lifetime. I think we activate this one. So by me changing this simulating space to world, what that's doing, and this is what I wanted to do, so if we actually move this around, oh hold on, yeah, as you can see, all the particles actually like fall, like as though, so it will, like if we actually get this a little bit bigger, they will kind of fall, like follow along. Whereas if you had it in local, it means it's just going to move around like that. Okay. And we, like I say, I think we want the particles to still probably fall at the same rate, but we want them to just kind of be a little bit closer together. So, between two constants, I think. So that's 1. Yeah, because at the moment we're actually, like I say, I don't want it to be going out just as much to the left or right. So if that was to say be 10, that's actually adding more variance to it. That's like the opposite of what I want to do. Mini start size, yeah. I wish I was better at this. Oh, hold on. Shape. There's something. I know there's something where we can modify, where we can actually choose the shape of where it comes. Size by speed, size over lifetimes. Okay. This is what we're after. This is the stuff. Okay. So circle. Okay, the arc. Random. No, not random. Okay, that's slightly more what we're looking for. Right. And we kind of want the force to be a little bit higher there, so it's far too much. I think we've just about got it. Okay. So if we, oh yeah, unfortunately as well. So when you actually have the particle selected, all the orange border comes around, and that won't be in the game. There is a little thing here, I believe, where you can actually get rid of the orange glow around. Select wire. Selection outline. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I think that's okay. Oh yeah, of course we want it to be on world space. Okay. Right. So we've created something which is yeah. You know, we're going to come back to that. So what I also want to do is create a 2D object sprite. Blob. What should we call it? Actually, no. Yeah, particle effects sprite renderer. to work out. Oh yeah, okay. I think the problem that we've got is we actually need to create the image first and then put this on top of this. So that should be okay. You know what, we're going to come back to that in a sec. Okay. So, plus... Right. Okay. Yeah, I think that's should be okay. So yeah, what I'm going to do eventually is when the cards are moving back, there's going to be like when we have the deck. Let me bring this over so we can get rid of that. We don't need that for the time being. So yeah, when the deck moves back, we're going to have like multiple versions of these just sort of fly over in a kind of nice sort of randomish fashion. And that's the thing. That's why I wanted to have a sort of trail, like a particle effect trail. But before we do anything fancy with the particle effects, I'm just going to work on creating one of these, or creating a series of these that all sort of get pumped back into the deck, you know, to indicate that the deck is that the discard pile is being shuffled into the discard pile is being shuffled into the deck. Right. Easy. Okay. So let's just give this a very basic bit of script. Card script. Quite a long name, I'll admit that, but the important thing is you want to really, even if it's quite a long name, you really want to kind of make sure that you've got the exact words that you want in the script name. So card back into deck from discard pile script. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna have a private. Yes, yeah. So this will be the nice, easy. So we're just gonna get hold of the transform and the sprite renderer. I'm just going to call it PE trans. Normally I would put the whole name. Actually, what about card back? Card back. That's what we call it. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. So this should be quite easy. Move to deck. So yeah, like the particle effect. I just had a little look. I was thinking it's it's one of those things where you've got to be in the right mindset. And I was thinking, I do not have that creative side at the moment, as far as actually that artistic, creative side on me at the moment. So I'm going to just work on what I'm, the basic thing, moving the deck back. So. Yeah. Yeah. We also want to make sure that the actual order let's just put it as 50 because that's going to be in front of everything else. So this is just making sure that it's at the front of the screen. Then, so you know what? Let's make it easy. We're just going to have a vector to move to. So basically, what I'm trying to do here is have a really basic script that is just basically telling this particle to move from one place to another in a fun fashion. So I like. Sorry, I've pressed the button and I don't know what I've just done. Okay, destination back. Yeah. Leave me alone. I pressed one of the F keys and it's brought up all of this. Okay. Destination back. So yeah, that's fine. So yeah, this one isn't too difficult. I'm just trying to make it look a little bit fancier. Random.range. Yeah, okay. So I know we've done something similar to this before, but this is just going to be these blobs that are going to move back for the time being. Also, I kind of want the blobs to start as small and then kind of get bigger and then smaller again. So local scale. Yeah, it's a 3. Move. So we're going to move it to move a dot instance. Yeah, so we're going to get it to maybe twice the size. Boink to size. Size amplification. Oh, no, sorry. We're actually growing it back to 0, but we're just going to make it bigger. So yeah, it's going from size 0 to size 0, but it's going to get bigger along the way. Okay. Right. Yeah, sorry. The reason I don't ever go on too much about this is it's because, like, this whole mover script, there's just so much going on. But, like, this is just something that will get something to a certain size and then shrink down over this amount of time, which is a random range. Okay. Da-da-da-da. So we just need to have... Okay. So, luckily, this is pretty much all we need. We just need to... we need to attach this script over here. Should be good. And now we need to move this game object into... resources particle effects. Yeah, this is the one that we're looking for. So from the discard pile, oh, we've actually got it here. Fantastic. Right, good. Okay. So I actually did, yes. So I've actually fit in a really good space to put all of this. So I've actually, this should be, we can actually get rid of all this, and we're about to fit in the cool effect. It's not going to look amazing because I've not actually put any particle effect attached to it. But it will look nice, and it will be a sort of basis for something where we can make it look better. Just close everything up for the time being. We're going to have... okay. Private game object. Card back P. Yeah, that's fine, and I think that's all we need for the time being. So upon awake, let's go right at the top actually here. So we're just going to get access to this card back thing. So Yeah, one thing, right, while I'm putting all this together, I don't know if it was anyone else, it might just be me, but in my, sort of, when I was learning how to use Unity to code, it was literally years, right, until someone actually, like, told me, like, the suggestion of, I mean, I say suggestion, but it's so critical, is when you're putting your folders together, you have to have a folder that is specifically called resources, spelt with a capital R, and it's not resource, it has to be resource with a capital R and an S at the end. It has to be spelt exactly that way for you to be able to do all of this stuff here, where you're actually loading the various different, like, content. I'm going to say content because that covers, like, that covers all the sprites, all the game objects, all the particle effects, anything that you need to access at runtime. You have to use this, and it only works if you have a folder that is specifically called resources, spelt correctly. Like, it just took me such a long time. You know, it would have been nice if right at the beginning someone said, "Oh, by the way, make sure you got a folder that says resources and make sure it's spelt correctly." That's going to save a lot of time. Right, so we've now got access to our card back. So, what are we going to do? Move cards back to the deck. So, I'm going to actually do a little bit of green code here because we're just going to break down each thing that we're looking to do. Create a, we'll just call it a CB. Card back. Okay. Create a CB at the discard pile position. Set it to move to the deck pile. Wait until all the CBs have reached the deck, and then continue. Okay. Right, so we need to create it. And I think we actually need a whole routine to do that. So right. Right, so we've got oh, like, yeah, is there an advantage to using resources.load over instantiating your own game objects? I'll be honest, I didn't know you could do that. So am I right in saying that you can essentially what it's doing, it's loading the it's basically loading your resources and just creating it. I think, right, I don't actually, like, my argument for doing it this way is, like, in this particular case, we're going to be creating quite a few of them, and this bit of code here is a little bit expensive, and we only have to do it once, whereas in my head, I might be wrong, I genuinely might be wrong, but I think if we were creating like, yeah, if we were trying to do that multiple times, I think it would be doing code that, like, slightly heavier code over and over. Whereas this way, we've got it here, so it's like a badge of honor. It's like it can now create one of these whenever it wants, and it's got the instant reference to it. But I might be wrong there. Yeah, no, I actually, you can run, you can reference a prefab, then run instantiate, but you have to set it in. Yes, that is how I used to do it. And what would happen, actually, hold on. I just want to check I'm not getting. I just want to fix this. I'll explain the story as to why I avoided, why I made the decision, the sort of transition to get the resource at the beginning. It is actually, I mean, it's genuinely, like, from a geeky programming coding perspective, it is quite a funny one. But let me quickly put all this together. This shouldn't take too long. Busy. Public build busy. Right. So we're actually going to have. So yeah, we just quickly. Why did I give this such a long name? Right, card back into deck. Yeah, okay. We've used up half the screen. We've used up half a line already. It just referring to this. Okay, it's fine. I'm going to stick with it. Equals right. Instantiate card back Pigo, and we're setting it to the discard pile trans dot position Why have we got to put quaternion dot identity? We just do. What does it mean? I have no idea. We just have to put it in. No, I think it is. That's kind of like how quite often my brain goes. It's like I do know what quaternion identity means, but it's just you're not allowed to just leave it over here. It will, that will give you, you won't be allowed to do that. So we have to decide its rotation, and quaternity.identity means it's basically saying be the rotation that it currently is. It does feel like it's extra code that we don't need, but that's just life, I guess. Dot get we just do. Okay. Oh god, we got to get the reference as well. Right. Okay. Card back. Oh, I am really regretting giving this such a long name. Okay, right, anyway. Right, that's done. We can move on. Oh, the document says it's depreciated and to use addressables instead. Oh, okay. Okay, I mean, I'll have to look, because it's like, what would that mean when I'm actually instantiating something? Would that mean, like, there's a way of instantiating where you just need to put in what the object is and the position? Anyway, that's something which I'll look into. Don't worry, I'm not going to do a big sort of, like, search to try and work out. It's just, I do know that Unity do depreciate things. Sometimes kind of for the worst. There's been a few times where something's just been really useful and they've got rid of it, but right. I've forgotten what I've called it. Right, we've got move to deck. Right. Move to deck. Oh, yeah. Do we have access to the... deck script? Yeah. Okay. Right, so we've got access to the position. We're telling it to move back. I really should change it, but I just find it too funny having to write this massive long bit of code because I've made the name like about 8 words long or something. Yeah. Okay. Oh, that was painful. Sorry. Sorry about all that. So what's happening? We're creating it. It's going to take a random amount of time, somewhere between 0.35 and 0.55 seconds, which we can change. We might go too quickly or too slowly. I'm not sure. So we're now. So we've actually done all this now. So we can just create individual card back PE. And now here, we're just, while cards moving back to deck is greater than 0. And this, I think this was just null code from another time. We don't need this at all. That's just useless. Okay. So let's give that a shot. I'm kind of working on the assumption a few things are working. And what I'm going to do as well, before we actually get it testing, first of all, any error messages. Nope, well, that's a good start to begin with. Right, where we're going next is... I kind of want to make the deck just a little bit smaller, because at the moment we've got 27 cards, so every time we're having to test it, we're going to have to end the turn like 6 times or something to get it to work. So let's just lower the amount of cards. It's not master. Oh, yes, sorry. Did I can't remember if I explained it last time. I can't remember. I stole a bit of code. I've got this master script. All that it's doing at the moment is just the ability to get a string of text and get it to a set length, and it compensates for spaces. So this is how I've got all the text. I can't remember if I actually did explain it or not. Anyway, that's. Because I know that I did fix it, but it's just the reason that I've kind of grayed over it slightly is this is code that I've made like in a different game, and I've essentially just copied and pasted it in. We're calling this master because there's going to be a lot more going on in this script. Sorry, right, okay. Distraction. Just get to the point. Do the thing. Right. Sorry. Edit script. That's the one which I wanted to edit. I saw the word master. I was like, this must be the one, but it's not. Okay, this is the one. Right, so what are we doing to here? We just want to... It's not even here, is it? It's the deck script. So, set up basic deck. Right, let's just make this a bit smaller, to be honest. So, let's go... say, yeah, just make 2 of each, I think. Oh, of course. No, 1. Because I still want to keep the variety there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just add a couple around. That's right, I'm just thinning the deck so we can test it a bit more. And I still want to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's the perfect amount. Yeah, so that way we can do a bit of sort of testing. Okay. Right. Yeah, as I say, it's still not going to look great, but so we end turn, adding like normal. Okay. Oh. Apparently it did it. I feel like there's something quite key that I've missed here. Just have a look. Yeah, sorry. that should have actually just done it straight off the bat, and for some reason it didn't. Let's go make this a bit longer, so we can actually see it in action. Yeah, so, yeah, like, because let's just see if the thing did happen. So we're drawing this many cards. End turn. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's where we've got to pay attention. Is there going to be a long delay? Oh. Okay, so it is there. I just can't work out why we can't see it. Oh, we've got the scale as 0. Okay, let's try and work out why that is the case. I think it doesn't quite like, because of this code, it doesn't like going from size 0 to size 0. I actually think we can... Let me just have a little look. Yeah, I think we're multiplying by 0. So if we make it as, say, new vector 3... So I think it did actually work. And so this is still going to be the sort of slower version. But we just get to see what's happening. Okay, so we end turn. Okay, alright, that's actually given us something to work with though. It needs to get a lot bigger than that though, doesn't it? I wonder why it's so small. Yeah, either way we can just make this number a bit bigger, can't we? And that wasn't actually too slow. So like, so let's go make this number a bit bigger. Let's just experiment. This is why I love doing this. I just love that sort of like, well, let's just make it 10 times bigger. See what it looks like. That, I think we can half that. So maybe 0.85. 0.85 to 1.05 or something like that. 0.8. So this is just saying how long it will take. So end turn. You know, that's alright, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Oh well, yeah. It's one of those where like this is more of a like. Yeah. Okay. I'll stick with that for the time being. So I'm just going to keep looking at it, just thinking, what can I do? I quite like that. And what I want to do eventually is make it so that like there's a sort of going to be a trail or something. There's going to be like a trail coming off from it. So it's also, I think we can have it's bouncing up a little bit higher. So this is so where we've got the random range, the bounce, we can probably have it as say minus 0.25 up to say 2.5. So this is all like quite yeah, like I say, these are more tweaking. This is just to make the game just feel and like a bit smoother and stuff. But yeah, let's see what this looks like. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I like that. I think I prefer that. That's nice. And yeah, what we can do as well is yeah, I'm not going to dabble too much on that. I think I'm going to fix the the particle effects. Now, right. Okay, I've actually still got a bit more energy than I thought. So I'm feeling pretty good. I am going to I'm going to see if I can tackle this this issue over here. Because, yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to see if we can tackle the issue so that you can swap from one card to the next. So, if the modulation... Okay. So what, because I think, yeah, like I say, it's like the codes that we've used to get it to return back to the original position, the way that we stored all those vectors, I think, so what I want it to do is we highlight one, right? And then when we move over to, I was about to point at the screen, when we move over to the card to the right of it, to this one here, it is going to store store the vector of all of the cards, the vector position of all the cards, and then while this is being held down, it's going to move all the cards in the same way that it would to the return vec. Yeah. Yeah, because... Actually, no. You know what? I'm going to make an executive decision here. I think this is something that I will do off stream, and then I'll explain how I did it all, because I've realised I don't have quite as much energy as I thought. I thought I could get this to look better. What have I done there? Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, right, that's just the reminder. We got that. Right, so I think I will call it here. Like, so I just want to check, because I feel like I haven't done absolutely loads of stuff today. I just kind of want to make myself feel better, just to summarise all the things that I have done. It's like, and I think I've got a good sort of assignment now. Yeah, I've got a good sort of assignment. A thing that I'm looking to get done before my next stream is to make these cards just run a bit smoother. So what we have done today is we've got the discard pile moving back into the deck, and we have managed to get this bit sorted. Yeah, so so I suppose that is okay. I'm still okay with that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I tell you, I haven't achieved quite as much as I want to do today, but I realise as I'm looking at this code, I'll need to have a proper fresh mind to do it. But I'd rather kind of do that off stream and then explain how I did it. It's like you get the answers, you get the cool response. But yeah, anyway, I think I will call it here. This has still been a really nice stream actually, and yeah, I've got to say, KO2 fan, like obviously, yeah, thanks for like sticking with me, but also thanks for that. That was the best. That was like the night. That was the best like catch, like working out about the busy script. That is incredible. Oh yeah, that was it. We've also fixed the end turn busy script. Yeah, you know what? We've actually done all right today. Actually, yeah, I forgot that whole saga. Yeah, no, we've done a bit today. I'm feeling okay with that. But yeah, anyway, right. I'm gonna make a move. I am going to. Right now. This is more just as an experiment because I have no idea how this works. I'm going to see if I can. Like this is more just for experimental purpose. See if I can actually learn to raid. Just because it's like they make it look so easy. There we go. Right. So right. Just make it nice and smooth. Right. Just make it nice and smooth. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Right, cool. Yeah, so I've been playing a bit of Diablo 2, and this guy's pretty good. Alright. Now hopefully that will actually stop my stream as well. Alright, thank you very much. Alright, I'll see you guys later.